morning.
Good morning. Let's try this again. So I'm at I have to read it every single time, Coffs Coast Wildlife Sanctuary in obviously Coffs Harbour today. So I came here a couple of days ago and you were lovely enough to do an interview with me. So do you want to do a brief introduction of yourself?
So Tiga Cross, and I'm the new Managing Director of the Coffs Coast Wildlife Sanctuary after we saved it from closing down a year ago.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah.
All right, so before we get into it, I do like to ask a couple of questions just to get to know you. So, pen or pencil?
Pencil. Can always rub it out, start again.
Perfect. Mountains or beach?
Beach.
Beach. Aircon or internet?
Internet.
Crocs or thongs?
Thongs.
Palmy or Palmer?
Palmy.
Palmy. TV or board games?
Board games.
Do you have a favourite board game?
Monopoly.
Oh.
Only because we have the Coffs Coast Monopoly.
Oh, okay, no, that makes
it's
sense.
It's very special.
Okay,
you get to go around and if you save a turtle, you get $1,000 or whatever it's called on the board. So I love it.
That's kind of neat. Okay, no, that's fair. Then only acceptable answer for Monopoly.
Otherwise, Uno.
Okay, cool. Safe choice. Favourite colour?
Purple.
Favourite dinosaur?
Velociraptor.
Pineapple and pizza?
100%.
And favourite super duper flavour?
The red one.
The red one.
Raspberry.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And so we actually met last night at a Rotary event.
Yes.
So you're a member of that club?
Yes, the Coffs City Club. Yes.
Cool. And how long ago did you join?
About 2 years ago.
And why did you join?
I was a guest speaker, and I went there and presented a little bit about the sanctuary, but this is before I took it over, and my dreams and what I wanted it to be. And then I just did the guest speaking, and then suddenly I just kept turning up to every meeting, and now I'm a member. I don't know how it happened.
It does tend to happen that way, though.
Yeah. It was very organic, and I really liked that. There was a few things they were doing. They invited me, and I was like, oh, I really love this. I want to be part of this. So, yeah.
They were lovely last night and very, very welcoming, so I completely understand.
Yes.
And so if someone was thinking about joining Rotary, what would you say, especially as a young person?
I think just give it a go. It's not what you think it is. I think I thought it was an older demographic and that I couldn't be involved, and actually you can. And there's so many things, and there's different elements of Rotary. Like, obviously I'm more focused on the environment and maybe education side, but there's so many different things they do all around the world. So I think the opportunities are endless if you allow it, but not be scared to try.
Okay, awesome. And so we're obviously in the sanctuary today, so that's what we want to talk about. So a year ago you bought a zoo.
Essentially, yes. There's a movie about it. No, not about me, but there is a movie.
Maybe in the future.
Maybe in the future.
I mean, hey, keep it open.
Yes. So basically, with 5 days to this place closing down, my husband and I decided to take out a huge mortgage, purchase the facility, and then not only purchase and save it, but turn it into a non-for-profit charity, which sounds a lot harder than it sounds, because you're borrowing money from a bank, and they're going to want to obviously see profit and business. So being able to convince them to give me money, but then turn it into a charity where I don't financially gain at all is pretty hard. But I knew it was the right thing to do, and to me, money's just money. You still go in the hole in the ground at the end of your life. So why not do something that's going to make impact to the world and to these animals and the staff? It was really important to me.
Well, I mean, and you've obviously also built a connection with the animals and the staff, and to see them go or move somewhere else, it wouldn't be good. I mean, you'd lose staff. They'd obviously have to find new jobs. The animals would be put through a lot of stress to be moved somewhere else and have to reacclimatise, and obviously you don't want that either.
Yeah, and there was also, there was some animals that couldn't be moved, so that meant that they would have to be put to sleep, and that didn't sit well with me, that because of some poor judgments of certain people, that it then would go into that decision-making process. And as the life science manager at the time, so in charge of the animals, it became my decision, and I was like, well, I can't make this decision. So it wasn't an option for me. It wasn't an option. And all the rescue animals, this year alone, we've rescued over 600 animals. So if we weren't open, those 600 animals wouldn't have survived. So it's not about just the resident animals that we've saved, it's about all the ones that we save continually every year. So for me, that's why it was so important to save this venue, and the plans in the future. I'm so excited.
You've got plans in the future. You were telling me a little bit about it yesterday.
Yes.
But what are your grand plans? Had a bank account with unlimited money, what would you do? So
an education wildlife hospital. So not just a wildlife hospital to save animals, because there's plenty of those around Australia, not in our region, but we're about a 6-hour coastline. There's nothing really around our area, so we look after quite a big area.
So
but
where does that coastline go from, actually?
From Byron Bay down to Nelson Bay.
Okay.
So that's pretty much the terrestrial animals, so koalas, kangaroos. But if you're looking at marine life, you're looking Sydney and Gold Coast.
Wow.
So quite a big region. So I've just had a call this morning about a turtle that's down at Hat Head. So we're trying to figure out how we can get down there to get that. But for me, the education part of the hospital is what's important. So I think there's a lot of people that are studying to be vets but don't have the practical experience. So here we would want to have hands-on learning with real wildlife, where people actually learn real life skills on how to handle marine life, how to handle terrestrial animals, how to do those surgeries. Like, it's something that you need to go back to grassroots and actually learn practically. I think we do a lot of things online these days, and we need to get back to, hands-on learning.
And so, because I saw, I think it was a TAFE class out the front, so you already are doing like schooling on on campus, so to say.
Yeah, so we have about 4,000 kids that come through each year, ranging from preschool through to university. Then we have more, we have work experience programs. We have the TAFE students that you would have seen, they're here for 12 months. We've got internships that do like a semester. We have people travel around the world to come and do the work that we do here, and building a hospital would only increase that number of visitors and education that we can do, because at the moment we are limited. We're at capacity, we cannot take any more students, so that's our limit, but we were hoping with the hospital we'll be able to do more.
So this used to be more of a zoo.
Yes.
It's now, definitely from my experience, it's more of a sanctuary. Like, the respect and like the comfortability, so to say, of the animals is paramount.
Yes.
So what things are in place to ensure that it's for the animals and not for the people coming to visit?
Yeah, so for our model, we really pride ourselves on ethical and welfare enriched activities for the animals. And I say for the animals, not the people, because it's for them. And unless it's engaging for them, then we wouldn't do it. So we still have people come and pat them and engage with them, but it's their choice to do so. So it's not having, hundreds of thousands of people jumping in the water or doing things with them. It's about those ethical experiences, always giving the animal choice and control. And like, we're going through all of our accreditation through ZAS, the Zoo and Aquarium Association. Like, we're doing all the extra things to prove that what we are doing has justification. It's not just, hey, let's just do this. It's, okay, it's backed by science, or it's backed by data, or it's backed by things. So,
but also, like, your ZAR accreditation takes a lot of work. From what I heard, all the paperwork, writing down every little thing of when they ate and when they pooped and when they did this and their behaviours, and so it's a huge process. So it's not just, we felt like doing it.
Yeah, it's a big process. We're about to go through our second accreditation now, so you have to do it every few years. And for us, it is literally like hundreds of questions, and you have to justify, why do you feed that species of fish, not that species of fish? And then you have to find out, okay, well, in the wild, dolphins would eat these species, so we're going to provide those species because that's what they would naturally eat. But sometimes there's always that random fish that they've, that's not scientifically proven that they've eaten before, but they really enjoy it. So then we're able to be like, well, actually, when given the choice, they actually prefer this fish. So it's sort of like, when you're given a choice of lollies or snacks, you're like, oh, I really like that one, even if it's not maybe the best for you.
Well, and like things I saw, because obviously they're being fed fish, and I think I heard that the fish, you have to be frozen for 6 months. So you feed them these little like jelly cubes for like water, was it? Yeah, for hydration.
So the cool thing about gelatin is it can hold almost double the amount of liquid to its size. So if you're giving a litre of jelly, you're actually giving 2 litres of water. So it's just this really cool compound that jelly has. And because dolphins don't drink fresh water, they normally get their water from their food, but because of the freezing process, it loses some of that content. So that's why we replace it with the jelly. And as you saw, they probably loved it.
They love it. I think they love the jelly more than the fish, to be honest. They just get so excited for it. And I was like, what is this? But yeah, no, so I've had like an awesome experience here just with the day that I had. Like, it was above and beyond what I expected, especially when I walked in, because everyone was so nice and very knowledgeable. And obviously, like, you've trained your staff to be that way, but I could tell like they just have a love and a passion for the place, and I think that obviously says a lot about the sanctuary and what like you've made of it and what.
It's not just a job. It's like a lifestyle. Like, this is our family. This is our, these are the animals that we have been responsible to care for. So of course we grow that connection, and my staff, I'm so proud of them for, living the vision that I'm trying to create. And I think, I've been with them for many, many years, and for them to, push through the vision that I want, which is for this place to be this education and personal experience. I don't want you just walking in and going, yep, saw a fish, tick, walk away. It's, okay, well, where'd that fish come from? Did we rescue it? What happened? What's its story?
Yeah, like Sam's in love with, so yeah, like whose wives, like who are, like
it's about that
backstory.
relationship and connection because, if you want to go see, a tiger, well, then just watch a documentary. The most will just do that if you're going to just walk through and see a tiger. But if you're going to come here, you're going to learn about this individual and its life story. And that, to me, is a really cool story to tell.
And if you had one thing to say to those that are like skeptical or haven't been in a while, and like if you wanted to, like one thing that they need to know about why it's now different, what would that be?
I think they just need to understand that it's a non-for-profit, so our whole model is for the animals. And, yes, we're a bit rusty around the edges, we've got some upgrades to do, but we only took it over a year ago, and, we've got more plans to move forward, but that takes time and money to do. And I think just come in and experience it, and actually don't just read things online. Like, come in and experience it, feel it, see what we're talking about, and you'll be converted 100% when you leave.
I mean, I was.
Exactly.
I walked in unsure, and I'm just like, actually, this is awesome.
And ask the right questions. Like,
just ask questions at all.
Exactly.
Because I asked so many questions, I answered every single one of them, and then others would come and be like, oh, cool, it's over. And walk away. And I'm like, no, so many questions.
We would rather ask questions. Like, we can obviously talk all day, but it's about that question and engagement process, which is what we're proud of. And, I have seen it in other facilities where they do a talk and, like, they will run away from you. They don't want to talk to you, versus our staff are like, did you guys want to talk? Did you want to know about Sam? I'll tell you about him.
Yeah, like this one specifically, like anything you want to know. Just get,
And sometimes it comes across a little bit pushy. I'm like, no, don't interrogate the guests. But it is important, like, if you have a question, like, send it through online, send it through to our email, send it through, ask us in person. Like, if you generally have a question, you are concerned about animal welfare, or you're concerned about something, or you've seen something, just ask the question, don't just presume. Yeah. I think that's a really important thing, because we do get a lot of scrutiny because we have dolphins. But it's like, once you go through, they can't be released. Yeah. They were born here. What would you do with them? Like,
so you inherited them, so you're going to look after them as long as you have the opportunity to. Yeah. You're going to provide them a good life, and then you're not getting any new ones. No, exactly. And I think that there's a lot of stigma out there, and it's like understanding that, okay, if you were put in this exact same situation, what would you do? And then when people start thinking about that, they start realizing that, oh, actually, there isn't really a better option. Yeah, like they can't just be released. Exactly. They wouldn't know what to do.
And they wouldn't survive. There's been numerous studies done on it, and, it would be a very unfair way for them to go. So I think that we're that middle team where we're trying the best we can, we're doing the best welfare that we can, and people should come and see that and understand that, rather than just looking at black and white. They need to look at more of actually what is out there.
And I mean, like, the amount of times I heard they're on their own time, like they're on their own time, for like anyone that was a bit pushy, like that was so important, because they're just like, no, like if they want to play around they can, but no forcing them, because they're on their, like, not their break, but they're on their own. Yeah.
It's their respect. It's that respect thing. Like I was saying before, our animals, it's not about them entertaining you. It's about you seeing real conservation in action and real care in action. Like, if we're doing something and we're doing a research study, we include the guests into that. It's not just, hey, we're doing a dolphin talk at this time. It's like, hey, actually, we're doing this cool thing. Do you want to come see it? Yeah. So for me, it's about them actually experiencing what we do, rather than us entertaining them. And that's a different business model completely. It's us doing our job. You just watching us and then learning, rather than us having to, like, constantly trying to entertain someone and be like, oh, well, the dolphin's going to do this now for you. It's no, the dolphin's doing an exercise session, and you may enjoy that, but it's actually for them. Whether you were here or not, we'd still do the same thing. Yeah. So that's kind of...
Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the high five.
Yes.
Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you as well.
Thank you.